Hey everybody, this is Lorelia coming to you with a video today. And today I want to talk about the mortgage moratoriums, the economic tsunami of mortgage moratoriums. So if you're not sure what I mean, mortgage moratoriums is currently what's happening now, whereas homeowners or investors who have federally backed mortgages do not have to pay the mortgage. And I know, due to what's going on in the economy, the pandemic and COVID or what have you. And so it trickles down to the tenant. And so now you also have tenants who also have the moratorium that's going on, because whether you know this or not, if you are a tenant and your landlord has a federally backed mortgage, you as the tenant don't have to pay the rent. Now, depending on the school of thought, depending on who you're talking to, that may seem like a win for everyone involved. Me as a tenant, I don't have to pay my rent. Me as a landlord, I don't have to pay my mortgage. But understand what's going to happen, what's going to come down the pipeline. That's why I titled this video an economic tsunami. No, I'm no economic scholar. I'm not someone who tries to time and predict the market, but I do pay very good attention to trends. I'm also involved in circles where lots of money is made on debt. I've talked about this with personal credit. I've talked about this with business credit, business funding. And I always say that those who lend you money know more about your economic circumstances more than you. I've talked about it on this channel about FICO, how it affects you getting business credit. That FICO now has put together software using AI. I've talked about it, the FICO resilient index score. You can look it up, where they're looking at your behavior. But I'm going to go back to the title at hand, the mortgage moratoriums. Depending on the person, there are some people who are not going to be able to recover. So you figure, I know here in the Northeast, we were technically shut down mid-March. And so going forward to April to now, you didn't have to pay your mortgage, as well as you being a tenant. Now, a lot of people are predicting that after this election, if it happens, if it doesn't, that a lot of people aren't going to be able to pay the piper. What do I mean? The government already has things in place, whereas what can be done for these federally backed mortgages, so they're going to be covered, whether they be resold and packaged to Wall Street and hedge fund guys and gals or companies. At the end of the day, they will recover. And that's why I said an economic tsunami. Be very careful if you are that individual who have decided to take part of that moratorium, because when the piper has to be paid, you're going to have to pay up. Because like I said, being part of certain circles, there's a lot of money that's made on debt. And I don't say it in a bad way. I know people will think about personal credit and they think about, the debt collector and all this. I'm not talking about that. I'm not interested in being no debt collector, what have you. But I'm always interested in real estate. And I told you last year, I did a video on this channel and I talked about some areas of real estate that I invest in that is not very what's the word? I don't want to say popular, but it's not very well known to the average person who knows about real estate. Most of the time, people talk, they know about wholesaling, they know about buying wholes, they know about tax liens, they know about investing in bank-owned properties, they know about fix and flips. But a lot of people are not aware of the paper side of the business, being able to invest in the paper. And this was an interest of mine that I had interest in as of 2019. Let me think. No, I got exposed to it in 2018, pulled the trigger to fly all the way out to California to find out more about it, to go to a mastermind to learn more about it, and I got involved, started investing, trying to see, what type of debt do I want to invest in. Is it non-performing mortgage paper? Is it performing? Because at the end of the day, whether it's a performing mortgage or a non-performing mortgage or seller financing, at the end of the day, there's still money to be made. And understand with what's going on now, there are people who are banking on some people not recovering from this mortgage moratorium. And I'm saying this not only for mortgage moratoriums, but I'm saying this in all areas of finance and economics. Now is not the time to put your head in the sand. Back in March, the early part of the pandemic, I know here in the Northeast we were shut down. I did a video and I said, be very careful of numbing yourself. And what did I mean by numbing yourself? And this was before they started giving out all that money. This is before they started giving out, the government SBA money, the stacks on stacks on stacks of the unemployment. And don't get me wrong, I did videos on this channel about how you can get access to the money, and by no means I'm not one to judge what people should use the money for, how it's being used, but be very careful of numbing yourself of what's going on. And what do I mean by numbing yourself? Not being aware of all the moving pieces, because the government is playing chess, and you better hope you not playing checkers. And what do I mean by that? Not knowing the pieces that are being played, and then you get caught out there after November wondering, how did I miss the mark? Where's the extra SBA money? Where's the extra unemployment money? Not setting yourself up. I've spent, since March of the pandemic, I've spent more in training and learning than I ever have did. Because why? I realize that now more than ever, I need it. And that's just me. That's why I haven't really been doing videos that often here on this channel, because I recently did another training on real estate note buying, listening and looking for strategies on buying debt, and understanding that there's circles of people who are already putting themselves in position to make a profit. And whether you think it's wrong or right, I'm not here to judge. I'm only here to be aware of the economics for my family, because I know I'm not looking for no handouts. I'm not banking on the government to release more stimulus money. I create my own stimulus plan. Currently right now, with the clients that I'm working with, I show them a powerful strategy of what you can do if you really put your business in position on how you would never have to depend on lenders again. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with funding and credit. I help people get it. but I also show you how to get it. Because I tell people all the time when I have consults, what's more important? You just getting a one-time injection of 50, 100,000 or whatever? Or you learning how to get it in rinse and repeat? Because what a lot of people don't know is that if they have been fortunate enough to get the money from the lender, they don't know how to rinse and repeat it. They don't know. The lenders have no interest. I've said this so many times. They have no interest in teaching you the game. They make money by getting you a loan. They want that commission, and that's all they're concerned about. But imagine you being in position to get the money, whether it's PPP, whether it's the EIDL grant, whether it's just regular business credit and business funding, and set yourself up now that when November comes, you're not caught with your head still in the sand, because you're not really hurting. See, a lot of people aren't really hurting because, what are the numbers? They're saying not only are people were getting unemployment, but they were getting $600 on top of that. Why would a person want to work? Because at the end of the day, financial responsibility is a habit. And I know there's been a lot of memes and a lot of opinions of saying, well, if people were getting unemployment plus extra 600, and if with all these the amount of weeks, this is how much money they would have made. Well, why didn't they do this and why didn't they do that? Because they haven't built a habit. The habit has never been created. So the biggest problem is that people think that the habit of being able to take a little bit of money and expand it and increase it to make more is that they have to get a big windfall. No, it starts with the little piece. You get the little piece, and then that becomes, and then you grow that. So that's what a lot of people don't understand, is that these individuals have gotten all this money, and why didn't they do this? Why? Because they never built a habit. And that's why I'm saying now is the time to get into the habit. I said this in my video back in March when I said, don't allow the government to make you financially numb, where you're not hurting, because you may have got your PPP money. You may have got your EIDL grant. You may be getting unemployment and all this other stuff. But if you haven't did anything to make that small amount bigger, to set yourself up, then now you're going to be caught up in a situation whereas, oh, woe is me. I've talked about, the world that we know, that we knew in the past, it's never going to come back again. We are going into new times. You think about 10 years ago, things that existed 10 years ago, a lot of times don't exist. 10 years ago, you think in 2006, we didn't have an iPhone. It wasn't created in 06. Or there was no actual cell phone device that would allow you to have the capabilities of what you can do today in terms of email, FaceTime, whatever it is that you do with your phone. Banking that didn't exist in 2006. It didn't exist in 2008. Was just becoming popular in 2010. So now we're 10 years later from 2010. We're now in 2020, and look how much change has happened. That's what's going to happen now. We're in 2020, and in 10 years it'll be 2030. And what will you do to set yourself up that if you didn't like how your life looked in 10 years ago, what can you do now to be on the wave of the economic change that's going to take place? And that's why I said now more than ever, I'm investing in myself personally, to be able to position myself, my business, and my family. And everything that I learn, I make sure that I also, those that I'm working with, I share that expertise with them. The problem is that a lot of people think they're going to free.com their self to wealth, or their self to economic stability. You don't get me wrong, there's plenty free game going on, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, whatever social media site you use. It's a lot of free game out there. But what I'm noticing is that a lot of people have gotten so much information they really don't know how to decipher it. So what happens is that people, have a consultation with me. Just recently, I think about 2 weeks ago, lady had a consultation with me, and she started talking about net 30 accounts and all this other stuff. And I already knew right there, she done listened to so many people, she mixing their information and what I teach. And I told her, I said, I don't teach that. There's no video, there's nothing in my way. I'm teaching you the way to get business credit is with net 30 accounts or whatever. But what I found out was that this lady had took in so much information that she don't know what she listening to. So what happens is that's it. A lot of people got a whole bunch of puzzle pieces, but don't know how to put the puzzle pieces together. And that's why I said the government playing chess, and everybody else is playing checkers because they don't know how to put all these pieces together. And just that same consultation, the lady was like, oh, well, I read one of your emails and I was so surprised at one of the strategies that you shared. Oh, I didn't know I can do that. Of course you didn't know. You're not working with me. I shared something in the video that's on my YouTube channel of what I was doing with my client. How would a person know that if they're not working with me? So I say all this to say, an economic tsunami is going to happen. Where will you be? Will you get caught out there? Are you protected? Do you even know what's coming? Whether it comes or not, but are you protected? So that's all I have to say. I am tomorrow going to be doing a training, talking about funding, talking about getting yourself in position, your business, because once again, being able to take a small amount of money, building the habit of getting that money and to grow it so it can grow to bigger money. So, if you want access to this training, it is exclusive to those that I work with. So it's not a free training, but what I do, if it's something that you're interested in, what you can do, you can go to bizcredit.yourmoneymentor.com and schedule you a consultation. We'll talk. If it's a good fit, I'll, talk about how we can work together. If you're in real estate and you want to learn how business funding or business credit can help you do more deals, go to helpmegetbizcredit.com. So you got 2 links. I'll put them underneath this video, and let's have a conversation. And like I said, the training I'll be doing tomorrow will be about creating a funding entity so you can be able to get the funding that you want. So that's all I have to say. Protect yourself. Don't get caught out there. So until the next video, bye-bye.